All right. And we're coming at you live and direct. This is Doc Ock at noon. Still in the merry month of May for a little while longer. Hopefully we can be here and make your day today. We're going to try and do this quick, fast, and in a hurry because I only have so much time left on my record. One of my recording devices is getting ready to, actually, it's this one right here. This Chromebook is getting ready to play out on me. So meanwhile, let's go ahead and do the story for today. Proverb for today is clothes put on while running come off while running. Clothes put on while running come off while running. I'll let you think about that one. Meanwhile, as you think about that, let that ruminate a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to read another story. We're going to take a little break here, take a small hiatus from our daily reading of My Life in the Bush of Ghosts. And we're going to segue into this Black folktale book because I got one here that's not for the children. So this one's for you. It's Hi, John the Conqueror. Way back during slavery time, there was a man named John. Hi, John the Conqueror, they called him. And he was what you call a man. Now, some folks say he was a big man, but the way I heard it, he wasn't no bigger than your average, well, you know what I mean. And didn't look no different than the average man. Didn't make any difference, though. He was what you call a bee man. Be here when the hard times come and be here when the hard times are gone. No matter how much the white folks put on him, John always survived. John lived on the plantation in Mississippi. I'm not quite sure whereabouts in Mississippi, but it must have been on one of them cotton plantations up in what they call the Delta in the state that has 4 eyes and still can't see. You know what I'm talking about, Mississippi. John lived on one of them bad plantations. They had plantations so bad up in there, and the white folks were so mean that the rattlesnakes wouldn't even bite them. Afraid they'd poison themselves. Snakes only bit niggas. White folks were so mean up there, they'd shoot a nigga just to bet on whether the body would fall frontwards or backwards. And then they'd go whoop the dead nigga's mama if the body fell the wrong daggone way. That's the kind of plantation John lived on. But it didn't bother John none. He was a bee man. Wasn't no disputing that. Hi, John loved living. And although he was a slave, he made up in his mind that he was going to do as much living and as little slaving as he could. He used to break the hose, accidentally, of course. Set old master's barn on fire. Accidentally, of course. He always had a hard time getting to the field on time, and when he did get there, somehow the mule would accidentally tromp down a whole row of cotton before the boss knew what was happening. Old master was never sure, though, whether or not John was doing all this on purpose, because John would work real hard some years and make a good crop. The next year, though, it seemed like everything he touched got destroyed. But the following year, he picked more cotton than anybody ever thought possible. So the white folks were never sure just whose side John was on. And you better believe that that was the way John liked it. Well, it was after one of these seasons when John had really worked, and old master decided he would reward John for it. Maybe it would encourage him to do good work all the time, master thought. So he gave John an old mule and a patch of ground so John could raise a few vegetables of his own. John thanked master, but the last thing John wanted was a mule of his own. Why should he have to raise his own vegetables when he could go take master's? Stealing was what you did if you took something from another black person. Anything you took from white folks, that was yours to begin with, because everything they had, they got because of your work. So John really didn't want the old mule. All it meant was that master would expect to see him out there plowing up that little patch of ground. And John had had enough of work for a while. With all the work he done this year, he figured on not working for the next 5. So he started thinking how he was going to get rid of the mule master had given him. Now, this is where the story gets interesting. Bright and early the next morning, John went down to the barn to hitch up his mule.